all good, but it happens to all of us all the time, like all kinds of violence, whether it's sexual violence, domestic violence, queer and transphobia, all the violence we survive, and we're all here saying no to it really loud and strong, and we're also all saying that we survived, and we're going to work to create a world where this stuff doesn't happen again. So give it up for yourself for being out here to say that. Okay. Alright, I'm actually going to do two pieces. The first piece is a love poem for Sakia Gunn. For people who don't know, Sakia Gunn was a young black lesbian. She was 16 years old. She was murdered in the street 3 years ago in New York on her way home to Newark, New Jersey from a place called the West Side Piers in New York where a lot of young queer and trans youth hang out, mostly of color. She was with her girlfriend. She was 16 years old. If she wasn't dead, like a lot of us who are young, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and trans people, especially of color, especially broke, who face violence disproportionately, she might be here tonight. As a young woman of color who is queer, I just want to send out some love to her and to all of us who have to face those struggles to survive. So this is a love poem for her. Sakia, when I look at your face on the memorial website, I know that I could have fallen in love with you so easy when I was 16. You could have met my eyes just once, wearing rainbow rings that in my high school were brave, not cheesy. We could have been taking that late train home together, falling sticky stars all over each other in the vinyl seat, stupid fearless. Because when I was 16, I used to hang out behind the high school. I would do anything to feel my breath buzzing. When I was 18, I rode the subway home at 5 a.m. smelling like cheap perfume in a bra under a bomber jacket. And when those men showed up to hassle me, I acted crazy. I stared at the ad in front of me. I yelled my head off. Living was risky anyway, so I did whatever I needed to do. I needed a revolution so bad, but I didn't have it yet. Did your girlfriend have your head in her lap that day? Were you dancing to somebody's boombox, throwing shade and fixing nail tips as the water kissed and slapped the piers, as the cops moved through, erecting fences around your bodies, but were not there to stop the men who asked you home? Sakia, all you were trying to do was to get home, and we are all trying to get there with you, girl, to that place where we can stop for 5 minutes, suck our breath all the way down, where they never end us. Thank you. Okay. And this second piece, I'm a survivor of domestic violence. It's been like 7 years now. It's really amazing. And this piece was written, abusers come in all shapes and forms, and a lot of times, my mother was always like, oh, if you're smart, you can see the bad ones coming. We can't see the bad ones coming. A lot of times they're really charming, and a lot of times they love us really well until they choose to misabuse their power. So my ex is actually still like this big radical activist dude, which is fascinating. So I wrote this piece in response to surviving that situation, and it's called You Play Love, Keep Us Together When We're Far Apart. You play love, keep us together when we're far apart. As you stare me down at conscious gigs and sisters like you, DJ. But you didn't love me enough to make sure your rage went into a cop or your papi, did you? Instead, you took that fine-tooth comb of our politics to rake bloody lines all over me. Scream at me for hours. I'm just the same as some ungrateful white bitch because I said I wanted a room of my own with a door I could lock against you. Months spent banging your fist, your head, coffee cups you threw to splinters just above our bed, smashing the mirror in our eyes that reflected only our sacredness. So now instead of writing beauty, I gotta write down every time you rip my heart and body in half, so immigration will maybe be compassionate and humanitarian. Spend my genius finding the perfect words to speak, the way your hands felt wrapped around my throat, the texture of no, you're not fucking going anywhere. The memory of being that woman crawling on a floor begging to live. But you ain't strong brown earth if you bleed. He's an endangered brother. His fit's not his fault. Your mother said to me, they're so hurt from the coup, the camps, the streets, the joints. But I say, so are we. Quoting Asada excuses nothing. Thank you guys so much.